Jeff. All right, so today we're going to talk about how to use video to do some testimonials. So it is 12:02, and let's get started on things. Thanks everybody for attending, and give me 2 seconds here. All right, here we go. Here. All right. Oops. All right, so we checked through things. You guys can hear me now. That's good to know. Remember that I will be recording this, and as always, I encourage you to participate. Ask your questions as you have in the past in there, let's try to get some interactivity, some interaction, I should say, in here. All right, so. Give me 1 sec. I'm having some technical difficulties here. Let me try this again. Whatever reason. That is not good. Give me 1 sec here. Just having some technical difficulty. I'll get this squared away. We'll run this presentation from over within PowerPoint itself. So as you guys know, let's see, we'll go back here. Make sure you ask those questions in the chat box. And with respect to marketing, we talked about ID and needs and providing those resources and making sure we can crowdsource those challenges that you have. And that's why we have our Facebook group. It's a place to ask, share, and comment, and there aren't any bad questions. So I encourage you guys to participate in that Facebook group. I just posted a great piece about Google Plus from Guy Kawasaki in there, and also a document as it pertains to what we're going to talk about today. This is more about the production component of the video. So the recordings are going to be on Facebook. Join the group. I'll approve you. Make sure you you download anything that's in there that you need. And so we want to make sure that we have a plan for you guys. And today we're going to talk about well, first of all, let me show you how to get into the group again because I know there are going to be a couple people here. Up at the top, this is where you can put in Thursday Therapy Think Tank and do your search for the group. Once you do that, you click on this Join Group button here, and then once you get in there to get files, you click on the Files tab, and that's where you can see the various files that we have in the system there. So that's the review there. If you have any questions, send me a private message, or you can email me. My contact information will be at the end as well. I know Sarah, my assistant, is on there, and I'll be on there as much as I can to continue to put some stuff up there. But really try to use this as a platform for you to share marketing ideas with each other. So let's talk about shooting video testimonials. The first thing you want to do is think about how you're going to use these testimonials, and especially what we want to address is how you can use them online, these testimonials online. So the question becomes, who visits your website, and how do they get there, and what are they thinking when they get to your website? And by using social proof or testimonials, you can help them make the right choice, and that's to come to your practice. So let's first talk about who visits your website. If people are online and they're looking for physical therapy, most likely they're going to use Google. And you can certainly check your Google statistics to confirm this. I have yet to see any practice out of all the practices that we serve that gets more traffic from Yahoo or Bing than they do Google. Google's a 900-pound gorilla. So you want to be listed on Google, and then once they find you on Google and get to your website, that's when you can use video testimonials. So people that visit your website and are doing a search for your business, they're doing, in most cases, a reputation search. They're searching for your business name because they've been referred by friend, family member, or physician. Secondly, they might do a geographic search, so physical therapy in your area. And then third, they may be looking for a physical therapist by name. So those are the ways that people search for you. And here's some web statistics from a practice, Gaspar PT, that confirms this. You see here that as far as searches go, this is Google's hidden search results, so you can't see those, but in all cases when we look at these results through analytics, they mirror what you see here. Business name, 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 business therapist, and business name. And then here, this is rare, so you might see this, but this is a service search. And then you start to see the geographic search, Solana Beach, Carlsbad, and Encinitas. So this always is the case. We have yet to find anything other than these types of keywords that people use in Google when they're searching for your practice. So we know how people behave. They're searching for your business, and that means they're checking you out. They want to find out about you. So when they visit your website, what are they doing? They might be going to find your phone number or find how to get directions to your practice. But what we want to address is those people that are thinking about, is this the right place to go? So they're vetting a referral. Is this the right practice for their type of problem as well? So that's the opportunity to use social proof, specifically a specific type of social proof, testimonials, and then the media we're going to use is video. So I hope that makes sense. We want to think about how patients are searching for us, and then what they're doing when they get to the website, and then we want to use videos to confirm or make sure that it's a good choice to go to your practice. So what is this social proof I keep referring to? I'll read the definition and you can read it as well. Social proof refers to the psychological influence that the behaviors of others have on our decisions and directly relates to the idea of conformity. This phenomenon is not exactly new, but its evolution and its role in internet marketing has grown significantly with a huge push for social media marketing in the recent years. So let's talk about that definition with some examples. Here are some examples of social proof. Let's say that somebody goes to your practice website and they see that you have a Facebook page and you've got 500 fans or likes on your Facebook page. That would be a form of social proof. Let's say that they do a search for you on Google and they see a Yelp page and you've got 4 I think it's 4-star reviews, as best as they can be on Yelp. That's a form of social proof. Maybe you use our survey system and we put the survey results on your page for you, like a number of you do. That's another form of social proof. Maybe you put some information about the types of services and the patients that you've served. For example, you break down that you've seen 30% back pain, and this is the outcomes you have. Maybe you put your photo data on there. That's another form of social proof. But what we specifically want to talk about as forms of social proof, and then how we're going to use this video, is case studies and testimonials. And you can use video very well for that. So up to this point, does this make sense? I wanted to stop and make sure. If any of you have questions about the market, how they behave, and what we want to do, we want to use video for social proof, type them into the chat box now. Any questions about what we're trying to accomplish here? Let's see if anybody has anything there. All right, so I don't see any questions, which that means that hopefully I've done a good job of explaining the background, the strategy, the why behind this. So let's talk a little bit more now about focusing on the testimonials in the forms of videos. So we'll talk a little bit about types of videos and how to capture them and what type of equipment you can use. And then we're going to talk about the steps to produce a video. So that's the pre-production, the production, and the post-production steps. And then we'll talk a little bit about where you can use these videos, and then how, if you want to, once you shoot these videos, how you can get those to us. And then I'm working with, and I'm still just a touch behind with this, but I'm hoping to have it this week, the patient disclaimer part, and we'll talk more about that. And then I'm going to have that for you. So you will actually have that document, and you can download it, print it out, and have your patients sign those documents for you. And then we'll entertain some questions. And I'm hoping you're going to have some questions. I need interaction. I need to make sure that you guys understand how to do this and that this is beneficial to you. So that's what I need. Let's see if I have some questions here. Let's see. Amy Fee, how do you, let's see, where's Amy? Amy said your question is, how do you run this? Let's see. Amy, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you said you had a question there. How do you run this? What did I?
I was referring to, how do you run the stats so you can see where you fall on all those things you listed on Google and stuff?
Oh, okay. So to get your statistics, you go into your control panel, and then when you're in your control panel, you'll see a table, and it'll say how many visitors you've had. Not the graph, not the chart, not the graph, but you'll see a table. And in that table, it'll show you how many visitors you have. At the very bottom, you'll see a link that says get your clicky stats. Let me see if I can pull something up to show you that. Let's see here. Do this. Give me one sec, because that's an excellent question. Let's see. Give me one sec. I'll get a good one here. So I know we've reviewed this several times, but it's always worth knowing how to get your stats. So real quick, let's see here. Okay, so it's right here. So in there, you'll see your clicky web statistics here. So here are your statistics. And then you can run your report. You go down. I like to see the last 90 days worth of web statistics, and you see how many people are coming. These peaks are high traffic days, and you can just mouse over to see the number of visitors. And these are weekends. People don't go to PT websites on weekends. And these statistics are completely consistent. This shows you your visitors, but what you want to do is go to searches, and keywords, and give it some time to load up there. And then you'll see the various phrases that people use. And you'll see this one, secure. Clicky cannot get the data from Google because Google about a year and a half ago made all of their stuff HTTPS. So all you can see the visitors. But when we look at Google Analytics, and the reason we don't use Google Analytics is just completely, it's too hard for us to implement across all our websites, and there's more data than you need. But what we found is that what you see underneath, everything that's in here is reflected here. So you see business searches are by far the most common way that people are looking for you is by your business name. And then you'll see the geographic searches like here and here and here. Well, that's actually business search. These are cold laser. That's an anomaly. But here's a Carlsbad one, Bressie Ranch, and and then you get. Remember, these are just 4 searches in 90 days. So this is the long tail of search. If you were to flip this chart on its side and draw a line, you'd see that it goes. It's an asymptotic graph, meaning it never reaches exactly the x-axis, but you see lots of searches and then some, and then it goes down to this long tail where there's all these different ways that people search for you and arrive at your website. These are the ones that matter. These here, this 1,124 searches, which are going to be business searches for the most part. 390 searches for business name. That's how people search for you. So the take-home message is it's really important for you to be listed by business name on Google. It's more difficult for us, though not impossible, but it's more difficult for us to get you ranked on page 1 of Google. Most of our clients are, but if you have a generic name like well, there was one gentleman I'm speaking with today, and we're working hard on pro physical therapy. Well, there's a number of pro physical therapies across the nation, and the word pro and physical and therapy are not unique. But if you have a unique business name like Gaspar Physical Therapy, when somebody does that search, there aren't other competing websites, so there's a high probability that you'll be listed on page 1. Does that answer your questions?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sure, no problem. Good question. All right, and let's see. Jeff Jacob, did you have any questions? All right, and let's see if there were any others. Kim Snyder, any questions, Kim? Nope. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so getting back to the video testimonials, the types, how to capture them, pre and post production, where you can use these, getting us the file. So how do you get that video to us once you got it, and then the patient disclaimer I mentioned, and then we'll entertain some questions here. So let's first talk about the types of videos that you can do. You can do a slideshow video, and write this one down. Animoto.com is a service. If you're excited about doing video, you can certainly go to Animoto.com and purchase that service. It's reasonably priced. I think $100, maybe $199 a year. That's for all year. You put pictures in. You can wrap text around them, and you can have audio associated with it. And most importantly, they do music, and they build it all for you. It's super easy. Anybody can do it. One thing you should know about Animoto, if you discontinue the service, their music is copyright protected. It is their property. They can, and I've heard they've come after people that have discontinued the Animoto service but are still using the videos with the audio associated. So there's a plus and minus there. So the slideshow is what Animoto will do, and that's a very popular way to make videos. You can make the pictures move and such, and it looks like a real video. So it's a good trade-off. The second type of video obviously is one where you have a motion picture, moving picture, which is video itself, and then you can have a hybrid or a combination of pictures and video. And then just so we're on the same page with some of the nomenclature or the vocabulary here, we can have background music, which is good to add some emotion, and then there's the term called voiceover, which is the person talking in the background here during the video that can help reinforce your message. So you've got audio in the background to set the atmosphere, you got the video, the visual, video and pictures, and then you have somebody speaking through audio, which is a very good idea to reinforce your message. So, slideshow. If you guys want to see an example of a slideshow we've done, you can do a search for Physical Therapy Glenn Burney right here. And I've also, I have this web address up here as well, YouTube. You can always go back and get these and take a look at these. But this is a classic example of a slideshow video with voiceover. And the really cool thing about this is we got this one ranked on page 1 of Google. And I'm going to give you some tips. So those of you that have taken the time to be on this video should get some very good tips about how, with doing some relatively easy things, you may be able to get a video about your business ranked on page 1. So stay tuned. An example of a real video where you have motion graphics is one we did for the STAR Clinic, Sports Therapy and Rehabilitation. And what we did there is we actually used the tools that I'm going to share or recommend you use. Those videos were shot with an iPhone and a mic. Your iPhones can do a great job, and the quality is iPhone quality. It's still really good. You don't need you know, HD, 1080p, high quality video to get your message across. It's YouTube or Vimeo, and people aren't expecting that type of thing. So here are some other examples for you. I would suggest you go to YouTube and look for Move Forward PT. They have a lot of nice videos on there for examples for you, so that if you're going to shoot some video, you can get an idea of what they've done. Here are some more examples. Obviously, you can't take all these down right now. I don't want you to. But we'll put these examples up on the Facebook group for you so you can go to them. And, of course, you'll still be able to review this presentation in there. So creating the video, there are 3 steps, as I mentioned. There's the pre-production process, the production process, and then post-production process. So let's go through some of those things. So pre-production, let's talk about how you capture the video. Well, first, we need to discuss the equipment that you'll need. As I mentioned before, you can use, and they work extremely well, an iPhone 4S. When you do your video, because videos are usually 16 by 9 on YouTube, they don't have to be. They can be 4 by 3 in dimension, 4 units wide by 3 units high. They can be, but the YouTube video area where you can display the video is called a letterbox shape. It's 16 units wide by 9 units high. So that's the ratio of the width to height, and that's what we recommend. And when you put your iPhone on its side and you do your recording that way, you're going to come much closer to that letterbox size than if you put your phone upright when you're doing it. So make sure your camera is horizontal when you're shooting it. So there are 2 things that are big problems. You got the camera taken care of, but the 2 problems that most videos, when you see the amateur videos on YouTube, the 2 things they have trouble with are audio and lighting. So the way that you take care of audio is you use a lavalier mic, and this lavalier microphone by Audio-Technica costs a whopping $24 on Amazon. I've seen it as low as $17. It's a wired mic. You run it to your shirt and you clip it on, or your patient's shirt or blouse and clip it on there, and then it has a wire that runs back on the floor to your iPhone, and then you'll need a jack, a separate cord that will connect that microphone to your iPhone. and we'll talk about that in a second. So Audio-Technica, the ATR 3350 is what you want there. Then you need a tripod, and you want a tripod for stability so that you don't have a lot of movement in your video. I like the Grip Tight Gorilla Pod stand because you can adjust those legs. You could actually kind of wrap them around things if you wanted to attach it to something. But it's a very nice adjustable tripod, and I like their clip as well. This part up at the top that actually holds the iPhone is good too. But these are adjustable, so you can flatten it out, or you can straighten it up, or you can wrap these things around. That's available at Joby for $29.95. So again, you can get all of your equipment for less than $100 to shoot your videos. This is the Owly Boo Boo iPhone 4 microphone adapter. This is what you need to plug the microphone in at this end, and then this part, as you can see the bands here, this makes it stereo, so it goes into your iPhone. This is the part that actually plugs into your iPhone itself. And then what you want to do is shoot your video and test everything out and make sure that everything works. So those are the 4 pieces of equipment you need. You need the iPhone, you need the lavalier microphone, available for $17 to $24. You need your tripod, and you need this adapter here. So once you have that, you have your studio set up and you have your audio taken care of. For lighting, just make sure that you have good lighting, and you want the light behind you. So do not put your subject in front of a window. Make sure that you put your subject with lighting behind you so they're well illuminated. And in most office spaces, there's plenty of lighting, overhead lighting, so it works quite well. Make sure you test it out. And one important tip when it comes to setting up your subject, don't put a wall behind them. Don't have them sit on a plinth with the wall behind them. Have great depth between them, or the back of your subject, and the background. And the background will blur out a little bit, and if you can get some color behind them as well, it really looks quite nice. And in those example videos I gave you, excuse me, you'll see you want depth of field when you're shooting your videos there. So that's kind of the setup, the lighting, the audio, and how you can capture things in your little less than $100 studio. Then you have your script, and let's see. Your script is, what you're going to have patients talk about. So some terminology. Around a video, we have an intro, and that's where you put your logo and your contact information. And then the main body of the script should be answering the 4 W's. Who is that person? My name is David Straight. I injured my rotator cuff playing basketball, and my doctor told me I needed physical therapy. I was a little bit skeptical that physical therapy was going to help me, but I ended up going to Gas Bar Physical Therapy, and the clinicians there were great. They set me up. They educated me about my problem. They set me up with some home exercises. My shoulder was tight with the injury, and they did some hands-on techniques, and they really helped me understand my problem and how I could adapt my lifestyle so that I wouldn't have pain, and it would help me heal better. I would definitely recommend Gas Bar Physical Therapy for anybody that has some sort of shoulder problem. So that would be an example of some sort of testimonial that you could use. Who are you? What did you come in for? What was the treatment? What were the results? And why would you recommend the practice? And then the outro, or the end of the video, is the call to action. And that call to action is call us primarily. That's the call to action. Call us at 800-555-1212, or visit our website is the secondary, a distant second. And in most cases, if it's on your website itself, these videos, then the call to action is redundant or unnecessary. But if you're going to put these videos out on some other places, that's when you specifically want a call to action. And we'll talk briefly about that in a little bit. So that's your script and kind of the flow of the messaging. So let's talk a little bit about production. So the patient is in here. You get the disclaimer signed. Like I said, I'll have that disclaimer in the Facebook group. You want to have them review the script. It's not uncommon to go through several takes to do this. I remember when I shot my first video, it took me dozens of takes to get it right. The only way you get good at this is if you practice. So make sure you set their mind at ease. Don't worry about it if they say or pause for a little bit. That's okay. Make it natural. If you want to see some very high level, very professional, commercial-like videos from patients, there is a POPS clinic, which I, of course, despise, but they have great examples, called Dynamic Rehab in the Troy, Michigan area. They have a number of commercials on there that can also be used as, you can take a look at those for examples. Dynamic Rehab, or do a Google search for physical therapy, Troy, Michigan, and you can see some good examples there. Make sure you set up your patients so that they have the background far behind them. Again, don't put them behind a solid wall or sit them in a chair. Just have something going on in the background. And then, of course, I mentioned adequate lighting. And then place them, do not place them in the center of the frame in your camera. Move them a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. So a left or right third. If you were to look at go horizontally across your iPhone screen and chop it up into thirds, a left, a middle, and a right, put them in the left side of it or the right side of it, and set them in an angle. And one thing I didn't mention, but you can have them look at the camera, but in most of these testimonials what you'll see is they're looking past the camera to the left or right. So that's an important point there. Have the patient, when they're speaking, don't look at the camera, but you slide off to the side perhaps and have them look at you. That's the way that testimonials are done in most cases. And then, as I mentioned, review the video production guide that I put up on the Facebook group as well, and that will help you kind of reinforce some of the things that we talked about. Post-production. Like I said, there are a number of things, there are a number of services out there you can use for post-production, where you can add music at the beginning and the end. You can consider Animoto as well if you do the slideshow. If you're going to do the slideshow and you just want to create a video that's about your practice, Animoto is a great service. Consider adding a lower third. So a lower third is that band. It's a graphic below the video and that usually has some text on it. And if you do that search for physical therapy Glenn Burney, you'll see what that lower third is. Let me give you let me show that for you. Okay. All right. So. So if we bring this up here and we do a search for Google as well, let's just go to Google and physical therapy Glenn Burney. Okay, so we did a search for physical therapy Glenn Burney. It's always nice to have the #1 result, but they have their name here, their phone number, and a video as the top result, and then below that they have themselves in a local business listing. So this is as good as it gets, but I wanted to show you, and we are doing optimization work, just so you know.
But not.
Let me just mute that. So this is an example of a slideshow video. Okay, remember here at the beginning we have the logo. This right here down here, folks, this is a lower third. This is what I'm talking about. There are online programs, I believe, that you can add your lower third, and then I'll share with you some easy, simple video editing software that you can use. But this is your lower third, and this is a slideshow. So you can see that the pictures are moving in and out. Now their pictures are not that letterbox size, so we have the black bars on the left and right, and that's okay. This video looks just fine. It's very professional. It gets the message across. So there's voiceover. You heard the person talking in the background.
It's priority.
If you
are looking for high quality.
So this is an example of a video that we're talking about the practice. And then at the end, we have that call to action. So here's a good example. You can look this up yourself. Do a search for physical therapy Glenn Burney, and make sure you watch it all the way through there so you can see the whole thing. All right, so let's get back to where I was at. Sorry about that. I'll go down here. But now you know what a lower third is. Okay. When you shoot your video, what type of file format? I'm sorry. When you produce your video, what type of file format should you export it as? An MP4 is the best format because it's a compressed file format, so the file size is small and it still retains the quality. And then as far as what software you can use to edit these kinds of things, there are a number of, like I say, a number of online services. I would do a search for video editing software, or video online editing, or video software as a service, meaning that it's a web service that's online, and you'll find some of those out there. Most of them are very reasonably priced. Camtasia Studio is a great choice, and if you're going to shoot some videos, they have a 30-day free trial, so this doesn't have to cost you anything. There's a learning curve, so whoever you're going to utilize to do the post-production work, make sure that they're real good with videos. But you can find high school people that can do this. I know many of them. We have somebody that's done some videos that's in high school. And then here's a great tip, guys. And again, for those of you that are on watching this, you can go to Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, and you can outsource your projects to anybody all over the world. And it's $5, and sometimes more if you're asking for additional work. Fiverr.com is a good place to get things done. So, getting the files to us. Once you've produced your file and you want to put it on your website, you can send it to us. If it's 20 megabytes or less, that will work as an email attachment, generally speaking, and you can just attach it and send it over to us. And what we use now is we use Vimeo as a service that we use to encode these MP4 files. And Vimeo will also encode a number of other types of video files, but the nice thing about Vimeo is the quality is very high, and it's also mobile friendly. So another thing that I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of is that we have switched up our monthly newsletters, and the videos that we put on your website are now working through Vimeo, and as such they're mobile friendly. So they work very well now on an iPad and an iPhone. So that's that's a huge bonus. And if you're going to do video, you got to make sure that you're Apple friendly. So the second way that you can get stuff to us is you could upload it to YouTube. If you have a Google account, that means you have a YouTube account. You can upload your video to YouTube and provide us with the URL or the embed code, and we can put it on your website. You can use Vimeo, as I mentioned, and the same thing, give us the embed code or the URL. Or you can send it, if it's greater than 20 megabytes, you can use WeTransfer.com. And that's a free file transfer service that's super easy to use, and I like that one. Our team is here to assist you with that. So, so location for the videos and secrets for optimization. So again, these are really important things if you want to try to get your video to rank. Put a video testimonial on your homepage. Your homepage is where people visit quite often, so that's where I would include your video testimonial. On your services page to match the service. If it were me, I'd try to get one video testimonial for the 5 or 6 most common diagnoses that I treated. On your testimonials page, of course, create a YouTube channel. When you upload your video, name the video your practice name, so Gaspar Physical Therapy Encinitas. In the description, paste in the text or the script that was used. So transcribe the video and paste it in there. Takes you a few minutes. And put that in the description of the video. Start off that description with physical therapy in your city, and then at the end of the video, put your name, address, phone number, and web address, and then end the description with physical therapy and your city. Okay? Then you need to put tags in there. Your tags are going to be physical therapy, physical therapist, and your city. And then, of course, doing those things for those of you that are in smaller markets may get the video, just by doing that, to show up on page 1 when somebody does a geographic search for you. It may. Most of the time it doesn't, but I've seen it happen. So there's no downside to doing that. And actually putting your name, address, phone number, and web address in the video description gives you, that's called your NAP. It gives you a citation, which helps with it's helpful with ranking on Google. And then, of course, you can embed the YouTube video in your Facebook page. Google just last month released Penguin 2.0, which is part of their search algorithm. And what they're doing is they're looking for social signals now, guys. If you want to rank on Google and you're not there now, then you need to have Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and a YouTube page would be helpful for new people. Those that have been in business for a long time, it's having social signals or social properties that Google can find is not the end-all be-all. It's just part of their several hundred-point algorithm that they use to determine who should be on page one. But if you're brand new practice, you should have social properties that Google can find. And if you take a YouTube video and you put it in your Facebook page, that's another form of them seeing social media. And remember, YouTube is the #2 search engine, and YouTube is owned by Google. So these are all good tips to help with the search optimization component of things. Patient disclaimer. The patient disclaimer is going to contain a HIPAA release and then the video release, and I will post that to Facebook. So that is pretty much it with respect to how to create your videos. And so you can do it for cheap. I gave you the gear. I gave you the script. I gave you some ways to do some post-production work and how to get them to us, and then ways you can use those videos yourself. So most of this can be done for really cheap. So that's the end of the presentation, and you can contact me in these different methods. Please, if you like this and you thought it was valuable, go to facebook.com/E-rehab and write a comment there for us. Review us there. I'd greatly appreciate that, and most importantly, like our page, because I often have lots of good content. I just put out Guy Kawasaki's book on our public-facing Facebook page, also about Google+, which for those of you that are into social media, Google+ is really gaining a lot of momentum, and it's going to be a big social network. I think it's going to challenge Facebook. So, all right, questions now. I can't imagine that all of this was crystal clear for you guys, and I'm sure I can clarify. So let's see what questions we got. Let's see. Laura asks, how do you get your business name listed onto Google? Good question. Let me put this down here and go back to. This is where I would suggest you take a look at things. If we look at search engine optimization, there are 3 opportunities to get listed on Google. You can pay for ads. So these are AdWords. The price, if you want to play the AdWords game, you're probably looking at about $400 to $500 plus a month. In New York City area, plan on spending $700 to $800 a month. Then you can get a natural listing, and this is through a process called SEO. And the way that you do search engine optimization is you get links to your page. You make sure you have content on your page that have to do with those keywords. You have to have your social properties and social bookmarks. That's the high level 10, 15-second explanation of how to get natural listings. This is a service that we offer. If you're going to try to do SEO yourself, it's an industry. It's a profession. We have a company around the corner, and I mentioned this before, that charges a minimum of $25,000 a month to do SEO. Now, obviously, they work with enterprise-level companies, but it's not something that I would suggest you just dip your toe into. If you're going to get serious about SEO, I'm not saying you can't do it yourself. It's going to take a lot of learning. I've been doing it since 2005, and it's an evolving process. If you screw things up or you do it halfway, you could penalize yourself. That's what the Penguin, there were Panda and Penguin updates. And the Panda update was all about, to Google, Panda and Penguin updates to Google. The Panda update was all about removing link farms, they're called, or these automated blogs that link back to your website. And Google would go to those link farms and find them, and then they would give you kudos, positive rankings, and it would help you list yourself on page 1. Well, those link farms were just automated systems trying to game Google, and Panda took down, I think, 11,000 websites last year. Now, Penguin is as part of their algorithm that looks at over-optimization. So if you're going to try to do this optimization yourself, you want to make sure that you don't do too much too fast. Because if you do too much too fast, then Penguin is going to say, all of a sudden, this physical therapy practice has burst onto the scene. And they'll know that you're trying to force your way onto page 1, and they will knock you down there. And I have good knowledge from some other professional SEOs that say that Google will actually penalize you. So theoretically, if you do too much, you could prevent yourself from showing up. It's all about velocity. Again, I'm not saying you can't do SEO yourself, but plan on spending months learning how and months doing it actually as well. There are some resources, moz.org, seomoz.org, and SEO Book are a couple great places. Search Engine Land, another great resource for you to learn about that. Again, moz.org, seomoz.org. I'll put that up here for you. seomoz.org is a great place to learn. And search seobook.com, great place for you to learn more about this. And then, so let's go back to, that's where you can learn more about SEO. Local business listings are being in those A through G markers, or the 7-pack. So let's just bring something up here. Physical therapy NYC. Okay, common search, physical therapy NYC. If we look at this page, and this is the most competitive market in the nation, guys. These are paid ads. All right, these are paid ads. If I click on any of these, you're looking at anywhere, probably, it's going to cost them $4 to $8 just for that one click. And then what we have here is we have a local business listing. You can see that from the A marker. Then we have a Yelp review. Big tip here, guys, get your Yelp reviews. Yelp is showing up on page 1. Get your Yelp reviews. Another natural listing, okay? And then we go into more local business listings here. We've been working with a company to get them in here for a while. It takes months for it to happen. And then you have down here natural listings here. Okay, so the process is different to get into the local business listings as compared to the natural listings. And then paid ads, you can simply just sign up for paid ads and go through the process. If you want to do AdWords Express, that's the easiest way to go. The problem is they're going to list your ad and you're going to get clicks for things like hospital therapy and hospital physical therapist and things that don't pertain to you. Their search, the keywords that they show your ad up for are very broad. So there's going to be a lot of waste there. You really want to do AdWords itself and learn how to do that if you're going to do this in-house. It's not for the faint of heart or those that have a small budget. People are looking online. People are certainly generating business online through the search engines. My advice in almost all markets, in all cases, I say you're probably not going to get good return on investment for ads. If you look at the lifetime market value, meaning you get the patient through an ad, you may lose money up front on that patient, but then if they come back 2 times, well, you've made money, and that's the way that a lot of these clinics are looking at things, as well as the chiropractors. That's how they do it as well. I know because I've taken some courses, and that's how they're trained to do these things. So that's your kind of your landscape and the different things. To get listed in the local listings, it's all about claiming your business listings. We talked about that in our last presentation, so you can review that. I don't want to go into great detail there. And getting your name, address, and phone number out there, and then you need to get reviews. So that's what you need. to try to get into the local business listings. And in big markets, you got to be patient with any of this. That's why Google doesn't make it easy, because they want to drive you to buying ads. That's how they monetize everything. So that's a summary of the search stuff. I hope that is helpful for you, Laura. Diane, I was late. Can I get info I missed? So Diane, this will be recorded. It will be placed up in the Facebook group called the Thursday Therapy Think Tank. Again, I'll just review that. Bear with me, folks, for those of you that are already part of it. I get this question so much. Go here and go to your Facebook page, do a search for Thursday Therapy Think Tank. There's our group. It's closed. There, I'm already a member, so you'll see a join button. Click the join button, and then I'll bring you in there. We have 109 members. We get some participation. I'd sure like to see more, because we can all help each other, folks. And I can tell you, going through this whole POPs battle here in California, private practice is not helping each other enough. And because we don't participate, the CPTA, the California Physical Therapy Association, which is completely okay and is willing to legalize physician-owned clinics here in California, they're controlling things. So my point is, and forgive me, I'm not trying to lecture you, but I'm just telling you, participate, help each other out. We can all gain from each other's knowledge and our experiences. So join that Facebook group. Let's see. So Diane, it will be up there and it'll be recorded just like these other ones are up here and recorded as well. Can we use any kind of music for our video? If not, suggestions for where to find music. Good question, Anthony. You cannot use any kind of music. You cannot use copyrighted music. The place that I like to use music is called Audio Jungle. I think it's .net maybe. Yeah, there you go, Audio Jungle. Go there, do a search. These are royalty-free files. You can find some music there, download it, and use that for your video. So that there are a number. Music Bakery is another one. There are a number of royalty-free audio files out there. So that's what you're looking for. Does a smartphone work okay as opposed to an iPhone? Mike, I've never tried it with other types of smartphones, so Androids. I'm sure an Android would work okay. You'll just have to test as well. And of course, I don't have any experience. I've done videos with the Android. They look just fine. But I've never tried anything with the BlackBerry. So how can I print your presentation? Jeff, we don't provide the printable versions. Unfortunately, it's just too much work, and I want people to go to the Facebook group, so it's a trade-off. You get the free lectures and stuff, but I don't put the slides up there. So any other questions about how to get a video together cost effectively from your patients or about your practice? So it's 11:55 my time, 55 minutes. Let's see, anybody else have any questions? Going once, going twice. Okay, well, so then I think we'll call it a day. I'd just like to thank you all, number one, for your business, number two, the opportunity to serve you, and number three, please participate and let's all help each other out. Clinical excellence thrives in private practice, and let's keep it that way by helping each other out. Have a wonderful afternoon. Good day.